Hey, what's going on? Matthew Taman here. Listen, I hope that you're having a wonderful, magnificent, and an incredible day. Today, I wanted to have a response to a question that someone sent me, Mark, and his question was, I want to create a social network, but I need help deciding between Jomsocial and Easysocial. Which one do you recommend? So in this video, I want to give you a little more detail on which platform to go with if you want to build a social media website, something like a Facebook or something like that. So I'm going to go through, give you a detailed breakdown for both. So we're going to use the two most popular ones now are Jomsocial and Easysocial. And we're going to break this down and take a look at different aspects. And the things that we're going to take a look at is we're going to take a look at the front end. We'll take a look a little more detail. So let's dive right into it now. So one of the first things that I'm going to do is whenever I am thinking about buying an extension or using anything from any company, one of the first stops for me is always about, because I need to know who the company is. I need to know who the people behind it are. It'll be great to see some photos to know, because it allows you to connect with them on a different level. So we're at Jomsocial website now. And when you go to the About Us, it just brings you to the product tour. So for me, as a person that's looking to use a software, let me scroll to the bottom because sometimes they have their About Us at the bottom so you can get to meet the team. So we are at the bottom now, but there's really nothing here specifically for Jomsocial who the team is behind this. So for me, that's kind of a little downside because it really helps to connect with the people that actually are doing these things. See photos, behind the scene videos on their website. So I don't see anything here specifically for Jomsocial. That is just something that it may be minor for some, but major for other people. So let's go over now to Stack Ideas, which produces Easysocial. And when I look at the About Us page here, the team, and by the way, it's at the very bottom here, the team, and I'm actually able to see real people. So for me, the moment that I'm looking at a website and I see real people that are working behind it and not some doctored up, pre-made photo that they just bought from somewhere else to put it there, this speaks volumes to me that, wow, these are actual people. Because a lot of times there are extensions that are made and you don't see anything about the people creating it. And in order for you to connect with your audience, you need to have an about page, whether it's a video. Video's a lot more effective, but a photo is something that you can be able to see who's working on it. That builds trust right off the back. So I think that's something that Jomsocial would have to consider and think about because I don't know who is, but I'm going to get to that in a second. But with this here, Mark Lee, I believe he's the founder. Now, just a quick history here. Jomsocial has been around a lot longer, or a little longer than Easysocial. As a matter of fact, I've beta tested both of these when they first started. Jomsocial was bought out by a different company, which I'm going to go over in just a second. But Jomsocial has been around a lot longer than Easysocial. I believe that the Easysocial founder here, Mark Lee, used to work for the original Jomsocial team on the team, and then he decided to branch out on his own to create Easysocial. And I also beta tested Easysocial in the early days. So if you guys think I have that information wrong, please let me know at the comment section. But I believe so. Right off the back, the company Jomsocial has been out for a little longer, and Easysocial came, I think, about a year or so after that. Once again, that doesn't necessarily mean make that better for that part. So we'll take a look at the company. Now, the next thing that I take a look at before using anything, and most people do, is you have a budget. So they have a price here. Let's go to Jomsocial price, and we are going to go to Easysocial. They have the templates. You can get the bundles, but I want to go through each one and to be able to see how much to buy each one is. So let's get Easysocial. Okay, so this is the price for Jomsocial. Let me put it over here. This is the price for Easysocial, and this is the price for Jomsocial. Now, for some people, this is always a deciding factor, because if you don't have a budget for something, you can't really afford it. And if you can't afford it, then you can't use it. So another critical part of it is, what's your budget, that you want to spend? Now, they're relatively affordable, very affordable to have all the features that they have, which I'm going to go over some in just a moment. But let's start first here with Easysocial. You pay $149 for 6 months, and it comes with update, installation. You get a 20% discount renewal, and 4 professional themes. You get priority support for 1 domain and a 48-hour response time if you have any issues or anything. And they have their developers package, which pretty much have the same thing as the Easysocial Pro, but you just have priority help desk support and up to 5 different domain names. So right off the back, you can either pay $149 for Easysocial for 6 months, or $299 for Easysocial for 6 months, but you get a little bit more domain and more priority support. Now let's go over to Jomsocial. With Jomsocial for $99, their starter pack, you get unlimited domains, tech support, and $79 renewal, and you get a default theme. I'm going to cover the themes later on. But you get same thing, 6 months. So right off the back, if you are really low on the budget, and if you have $100 or less and you wanted to launch your own platform, based on price at this point, Jomsocial would be the economical choice, just because it's about $50 cheaper than Easysocial. Now, if you want a professional for Jomsocial, it's about the same price as Easysocial. Of course, their developer package is $299. But the difference between the packages between Easysocial and Jomsocial is that Easysocial doesn't include anything like the other templates that you get. So for example, Jomsocial, it's owned by a company called Joomla. They've been buying up different Joomla companies, and they have quite a few now under their belt. So you actually get a whole package deal with them. So for $299, you get access to all Joomla products: Gavik, Joomla Bamboo, DTH, iJoomla Ship 5, and free migration installation. So this is definitely a great deal. So for anyone that wants to do this long term, but if you want a little bit more bang for your buck, you would want to definitely go with this package, because you have access to hundreds of different templates and different products that you can be able to use. So for price, I think that Jomsocial is economical, but I think that you get a whole lot more bang for your buck with Jomsocial. Where Easysocial, I'm sure that they're probably going to upgrade their plans. I'm not sure if they have plans for it, but there's nothing here that allows you to for the Easysocial plans. Now, they do have bundles here that you can be able to go with the bundles. So once again, but the bundles are just for their own extension. It's where Jomsocial have like 5 or 6 companies, Joomla Art rather, 5 or 6 companies that they bought that you can have a little more extension with that. Okay, so the next thing now is we want to take a look at some of their the features, because the features is something that allows you to be able to see what a company has to offer. So with Easysocial, if I can just go back on their site here, Easysocial has a lot of different features, pretty much the same features as Jomsocial does. One thing about these social sites is you're going to get pretty much the same thing across the board. So in terms of feature, there's really nothing that really, in my professional view, that so much outshines another one, because you can be able to do the same thing. The reason for a social network is you can view the same thing. Now, let's take a look now at, let me just log in first here. So I think with this one, you have a demo. So we're going to log in to the Jomsocial, and we're going to log into the Easysocial demo. And I want to take a look now. We want to take a look now at their interface. So the front end interface, when you first log into Jomsocial here, this Jomsocial and this Easysocial, there's a major difference from, in my opinion. There's slight but major. If you notice here, I like how clean just the default. This one here looks. This one here is clean. And by the way, we're going to cover templates later because you can use different templates for Jomsocial. But this is like their main one, and this is the main Easysocial. This one has a dark. You scroll down, you go to your profile page. That's how the profile page look. So all of them, their menu system is pretty much almost identical. And there's the profile page here for the Jomsocial. So it's based on personal preference. Like the Easysocial have the badges right next to it. Is where Jomsocial doesn't have a badge. And we're going to cover the badges later on. But you can share your status. You can use like Facebook with the background color. You want to switch, you want to change with your status. You can do that. You can also add a photo, a video, or a file. You go to the About Me. You can be able to edit your profile from there. Now let's take a look at Easysocial. You can click here. You can be able to do the same thing. Create polls, links, events. But I don't see the color feature that this one has. So when you go on the streams, there's no color feature that Easysocial has for it. So you can kind of feel free to play around with this. So now the membership, all this here, they pretty much work identical to each one. It's just style and looks differently, but they pretty much do the exact same thing. So now let's go over another thing that you want to take a look at is I want to take a look at their support. What type of support do these companies provide? Both of them provide pretty decent support. Now, when Jomsocial years ago, they had some issues with their support that you send a ticket and you wouldn't get a response back sometimes. And I experienced that, but I believe this was years ago. So I'm not sure if that has changed much from that point, but you send a ticket and you wouldn't get a response back for a long time. And sometimes there are times when I send tickets and I didn't get any response back at all. Whereas Easysocial, the response was a lot quicker. Typically within a couple of days or so, someone always responded back, even from the very beginning. So tech support is something that's good. I know Jomsocial have made some changes. They've updated it. Now that they're under new management, things seem to have changed. So their support system seems to have gotten better. So with both of these here, in terms of support, you have a social support where you go to their forums. For example, Jomsocial, you go to the new forums. Now, one thing here that I would say that's a little bit confusing is if you're just new getting started, you have a forum new and a forum old. I think they need to just integrate this and differentiate it within the same forum here. Because if you're just new to this, you see new forum, old forum, and you're trying to figure out what to do, it's like, which one here do I click? You might think click on new, but then there's stuff from old. So it gets a little bit confusing in that part there. So where Easysocial is just one forum. Matter of fact, let me just go to their Easysocial. You just go to the support and you get just one support section where everything is located and everything is right there. So let's go back here to the looks now. I want to take a look now at translation. If you have a website that is not English and you want to be able to translate that website, both of these do offer translations for it. We're going to take a look at that now. And I believe Jomsocial translation is a little bit more extensive. You can kind of see in your country and your language, the percentage that's been translated, which I think is a really brilliant idea, because if you have an Arabic website, you know that the translation for that is 100%. If you're from the Netherlands, from France, Germany, you can see the percentages here, and they're always looking for translators to translate. So this is right off the back. It just gives an edge. Jomsocial have an edge over Easysocial. As we're Easysocial, you see here the translation here, but you don't really know all the languages like it's listed here with Jomsocial. All the languages that are or have been translated, what percentage of it is, because this is a major help. If you have an Arabic website and you see this 100%, then you want to be able to go with it because you can be able to have the site in your native language, in your native tongue, which is always helpful. So for a global, international, I think that Jomsocial have it on here against Easysocial because the translation is a little bit more extensive with them. So now let's take a look at apps. Now, when you are building a website, you need to have additions or add-ons. And both of these offer apps that you can be able to use. Let me just drag this over here. So both of them offer apps and add-ons that you're able to use. And I've used some of these, but I haven't used all of them. I know that right off the back that Jomsocial offers more apps than Easysocial. But again, that doesn't always necessarily mean better. It just means that they have a little bit more. But from my experience, the Easysocial, as you can see here, you see the prices for the apps, as to where with Jomsocial, you don't really see a pricing for it. Once again, if you're building a social network, price is a major determinant factor in what you want to do. So I don't see any price here. So for me, if I'm looking to do some add-on, I don't see any price. Sometimes I don't always want to have to click. When you click, you don't see still no price here. You have to go to the person's website and then try to. So for me, that's just way too many steps for me. And that's a big turnoff because with Easysocial, I come here and the first thing that I see is the price. I know that, okay, if I click on this here, it's going to be $15 for it and I can buy it directly on their website. That's where with Jomsocial, it's you have to click to go to someone's website. And one of the problems with going to someone's website sometimes is that their link may not work. They probably out of business. I'm not sure how often this get updated, but I know from my experience with that Easysocial, they're very interactive. They respond in terms of the app section, which is really good. I've gotten a few apps for clients and things like that from my own projects here. And so when it comes to the apps, even though Jomsocial have a lot more apps, some of the links don't work sometimes, and it's just if you're able to buy things directly on their site, I think that would definitely give it an edge because you just want to be able to purchase things directly. I have to click here, click 3-4 times. People just get turned off by that. All right, so in terms of that, I think that Easysocial definitely have a win over it. Now, let's move on to templates. Another thing that you want to consider when you're building your site is the flexibility in terms of changing how things look. You may not want to go with the default. You want to be able to use extra themes that they provide. So let's go now, Jomsocial and Easysocial. Jomsocial has different themes and Easysocial have different themes as well that you can be able to get. So let's start first with the themes here from Jomsocial. So when you click on this here, this is the main one. So when you purchase Jomsocial, this default theme, this is exactly how your page is going to look. Now you can choose different ones. One of my favorite themes to use for this one is Socialize. So when you use the Socialize theme, and I'm just going to log in here. When you use this here, it gives you a look of how the old Facebook was. And you can be able to go through and, choose different styles and customize, which I really love this because you have this nice header right over here. You can get messages, you can get to see friends requests, you can your status and everything. And then you can kind of go through each section here. So the socialized template is definitely must have, in my opinion, if you want to build something that, sort of mimics Facebook. Once again, you can be able to change anything and tweak anything. So you can go to the events, you can go to the groups. You can check out the details about Socialize. You can look at the module variations. So the module variations, what you see on the right column here is different module variations that you can be able to use. And you can just put in here the suffix and it's going to automatically change. To that, you can check out the presets, the style. You have green. So if you have a site that you want to be able to customize, let's say with the color scheme, they have enough here that you can be able to get to match your site regardless of whatever color your site is, unless your site is a color that's not been created yet. But for the most part, you're going to find something here that mimics or gets close to your website. So that's definitely a plus for it. They have other templates here, the Jomsocial 2. This is another good one too that you can be able to use. Let me log into this one. So there's the Jomsocial 2. Once again, another clean and simple theme that you can use. And you have the same header. So you can go through each one here and then just see the one that you want to use. Now, there's a difference in this instance between a theme and a template. Now, a theme is what you can integrate. In this instance, a theme integrate with Jomsocial, and a template. Let me go ahead, JS flat. A template is a section of a website that integrates Jomsocial, as where with something like this, you can have your own template and you can install Jomsocial within it. But if you buy, let's say, the socialized template, it's its own template. In other words, it just comes with it. There's no necessary integration that you need to do because it's like a full-blown template for it. So Jomsocial have some pretty good templates here. Now, these are not all the templates. There's a lot more that you can be able to use. So even if you don't have one of these, but I do recommend the socialized, because it's the socialized Jomsocial 2, because those I just like how they look. So you can, if you don't have any one of these, you can always use whatever template that you have, and it's going to integrate with that, without any problems at all. And then with Easysocial here, you can see that they have some other themes as well. And it's another good one. You can preview any one of these and get a look and feel for it. Let's log in here. And it changes based on the theme that you chose. So they have several options here, which is a good thing. Maybe you want to be able to have different color schemes. Now on the back end, if you have all of these templates, you can just choose on the back end there to be able to choose which one that you want to go with. This one is really another nice one. So as you can see, both of them offer you different templates that you can be able to choose. Also, in terms of integration with other applications, you can integrate both of these with all of the Easysocial extensions. And with the Jomsocial one, you can do the same thing too. With Jomsocial, you can integrate it with pretty much any other extension. That's one of the great things about it, is that your website, you can use Jomsocial with most applications that you can use for your site. And let's take a look here. Let's go back to Easysocial. Have some of the links on there. Okay, so when you go to the bundles, this shows you, what you get here, but also the integration that you can be able to have within that extension. So now let's go over to the back end. We've demoed the front end, and I would definitely encourage you to use the demos, because the way that the demo works is exactly how your site is going to work and how your site is going to look. So now we're going to take a look at the back end. We just took a look at the front end. Let me kind of get rid of some of those links here. We're going to look now at the back end of these. So let's go to the back end and log in for Jomsocial. Now we are on the back end of Jomsocial. Let's go to the back end of Easysocial. And let me move them side by side. Okay, so go to components and Jomsocial. So right off the back, when you log into the dashboard here, Jomsocial gives you a little bit more. It's a lot more interactive. It's a lot more engaging at first glance. As for Easysocial, it's not as engaging at first glance. Now you have to click on this tab. You have to click here. I love the fact that with Jomsocial, you're able to see at first glance, most recent, who was communicating, how long ago that was. You can check out the comments. You can check out the members. At first glance, so you scroll down and you see the average age of your group. You want to know who's on your website. You see calendars and events, who is scheduling things, what's going on, and the product updates here. You see your demographic. the age, the gender, and you get to see all these features right at first glance. Whereas with Easysocial, you see it here, but it doesn't pop. It's not something that just pop. I don't know if their latest update here has that pop, but I know that for the interface right off the back, Jomsocial definitely gets my attention. It's like, wow, this looks great. It's Easysocial. It just looks bland. Now, if you look here on the left column here, you have the monitor. You can check activities. You can check different things. You can integration and your groups, all the stuff that's going on. And with Easysocial, you have their menu that's here on the left-hand column as well. Now, for the menu, Jomsocial is colorful, and that's attention grabbing. It's where Easysocial is just plain white, and it's not as engaging as it could be. So once again, I don't know if it's because they haven't updated it yet, but when I first log on, it just doesn't have that wow factor. So the back end definitely, in my book, goes to Jomsocial, because there you can click the video, so you can get a stats, right, everything right up here, and it's really, really detailed and it's really great. And then you have the groups here. So you have Easysocial, which is once again very bland, and you have user points, activities. I'm not going to cover all of this. I have courses that I've created in the past, and I might have to create some new ones. But to go over these here, because I've used both of them extensively for my own personal projects and for clients' projects. So the features here are pretty much about the same. There's really nothing that just really shines from one more than another so much that I can say, oh wow, this feature is just over. This is just about presentation for it, for both of them. So there we have it, the Jomsocial versus Easysocial. Now people want to ask me, do I recommend Jomsocial or do I recommend Easysocial? For me, because I've used both of these, I can go either way, either or. So it really doesn't matter for me. Because I can customize some things, I can tweak some things. And by the way, you don't necessarily have to know how to code to be able to do some tweaks and to be able to do some turns. So for me, if I had to choose between one of these, I go with either or. I know that may not be the answer that you're looking for, but I can go either or. But if someone said, if you really had to choose, like you can't say both, which one would I choose? I would go with Jomsocial. Now, why would I go with Jomsocial? And I give you the one reasons why. Remember earlier, let me go back here. Let me go to Joomla.com, and here's the reason why, okay? Here's the main reason why. Now, Joomla.com is the new owner of Jomsocial, and you have Stack Ideas where they have their products here. And let's take a look at the pricing. Remember in the beginning, I talked about pricing. Well, pricing is very key here. Pricing plays a major role when you want to start a project. So for $2.99, let me see if I can find that get again. Okay, so here's the bundle. So for $2.99, I can get access to all of the Easysocial extension, and for the same price, let me go here to read more, and they have, for about the same price here, I can get access to 7 leading Joomla template extension providers. Now, I've used Gavik, I've used Shape5, I've used Joomla Bamboo, Jomsocial, haven't used DTH much, but Gavik has a ton of extension there. Shape5 has a lot. Joomla has a lot. So this here is a really, really great deal that for long term, if you want a little bit more bang for your buck, I would say to invest. Let me try to find the pricing stuff here for John. Okay, so you get access to all of these here for the same price as Easysocial. And these different sites have a lot of different templates. So let's say you can sign up for this package and launch your own agency. and start to do clients' websites, and you have a slew of different templates that you can be able to use among these here. As to where Easysocial, if you just wanted to stick with just the extensions, which are really great, you have about 6 or 7, 8 extensions you can be able to use from them. You get access to it. But I think that for me, if I had to choose the ultimate package, I think that it is economically for long term. I think that with what Jomsocial, with what Joomla has to offer, it's a really, really tough to beat deal. And I've been doing this for, since when Joomla started, and I've actually watched both of these companies from inception, when they first started, their first templates, and how they've grown. But I think that the package developer deal from Joomla is definitely a must-have. I know that Easysocial is probably working on something. So, well, I hope that answered your question. I know that this is a little bit longer, but I really wanted to give you a detailed look at both of those and things that you need to consider before jumping the gun. I've consulted so many companies and so many startups and entrepreneurs and businesses that they just jump the gun and have no clue what's in store for them. Where you have to consider these different factors if you're thinking longevity, you're thinking 5 years down the line, and so on and so forth. But I just want to conclude by saying that Jomsocial and Easysocial are both great extension. They both have incredible features. They are great. For me, I can go either or. But if I really had to choose, as I mentioned before, I would go with Jomsocial. So as of right now, the winner for me is Jomsocial.